Hello, welcome to Nuggets for Life. My name is Peter Mueller and I have designed this video series to share with you some ideas and concepts that can change your life. Let's get on with it. Hello, welcome to Nuggets for Life. Today we talk about nugget number 1, the time management matrix. If you Google the term time, you get 3.9 billion hits. If you search for time management matrix, you still get 470 million hits. For comparison, the Rolling Stones get 175 million, Barack Obama 174, Donald Trump 750 million hits. So we are with the time management matrix in well-researched territory. So what is it about? It's a very simple concept. You can classify your work according to 2 criteria. Number 1, for perceived importance, high importance or low importance, and number 2, urgency, high urgency and low urgency. And if you divide it up like that, you end up with 4 categories, quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. This concept became mainstream 1980s, early 90s, when Stephen Covey, in his book The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, brought this concept first time mainstream to mainstream America and to the world. But it was used long before. President Eisenhower divided his work into important, not important, and then splitting it up again into urgent and not urgent. At this time, it was called the Eisenhower matrix. Now, looking at it at those 4 quadrants, I gave it the following names. Quadrant 1, important and urgent. I call it the stress quadrant. If you are an EMT worker, you get a 911 call, you get in the car and off you go. If you are a firefighter, 911, you go. But in our regular days, we are not firefighters and EMTs, at least most of us are not. We have much less of true crises where importance and urgency come at the same time. Quadrant 2, I call the achievement quadrant, a very important and significant quadrant. These are the important work we need to do, but they don't have a perceived urgency because they don't have a defined deadline, or at least the deadline is further down the road. For example, for students, they know at the beginning of the semester a test is going to be at the end of the semester, but they don't start learning for the exams. They do it 1 week prior, and through procrastination, then they made a quadrant 2 activity to a quadrant 1. That is a big danger. That happens with procrastinators. Procrastinators, they have these quadrant 2 activities, as we all have, and by procrastinating, they make it a quadrant 1 activity because they don't do anything shortly before the deadline. And then the procrastinator has 2 chances. Number 1, not doing it at all, suffering major short and long-term negative consequences, or secondly, doing a mediocre or lousy job creating lousy results. Then quadrant 3, I call it the devil's quadrant or the illusion of productivity quadrant. These are the urgent or perceived urgent things which are not important. These are the daily interruptions and distractions. Any kind of urgent notifications on the cell phone, Snapchat, Instagram, social media, emails, and so forth. This is a very dangerous quadrant, and again, I call it the illusion of productivity quadrant. And number 4, the quadrant not important, not urgent. This is on the cooler Monday morning quarterbacking, gossiping, simply irresponsible behavior. We know when we are there and we have to pay attention to it. Now, here I have briefly summarized with some key tasks for the 4 quadrants. For quadrant 2, I would like to highlight, a lot of things are in there where people don't pay the necessary attention to it, which is planning, prioritizing, personal development, skill development, training and development, and building relationships. They don't have a necessary sense of urgency to it, but if we don't do it, they become a silent killer. Now, what do we have to do in successful time management? We simply have to do the key shift. We have to move from quadrant 3 to quadrant 2. So number 1, we have to identify all the activities, time wasters and distractions in quadrant 3 and not doing these tasks, and the time we gain there, invest it into quadrant 2. All right. That's it for nugget number 1. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to know more, send me an email, give me a call, or visit one of my seminars. Other than that, hopefully see you soon for nugget number 2.